6, 5.
Hello and welcome to Nothing Media. We have Cheryl Abram here for Life Without a Witness, her monthly talk on Nothing FM. If you have any questions, feel free to type in the questions either on Zoom or on YouTube or on Facebook, and Cheryl will answer them for you. If you want to join live, there's also a link on Zoom. Welcome, Cheryl.
Thank you, Emerson. Hi, everybody. Again, this is Cheryl Abram, and this is Life Without a Witness, which is just a fancy way and non-dual way of saying I know who I am or what I'm doing here either. Okay, so normally I come through with something that I plan to talk about, but today I don't have that. So the floor is really going to be yours, to talk about whatever you would like to. However, until we get your questions, there was something that I thought about the other day. Now, y'all know, if you've been in these, in these talks with me, that I talk about this, and I talk about my work and my kids, and and my boyfriend was here last time. Y'all probably saw him in the background, because this is not something separate from anything else that's going on. Okay, but I'm in my bank account online. I'm walking in the library. Yesterday I was in Target. This is just there, all the time. The way that, like, the space around you is just there all the time. Okay, I just notice things now, and yeah, I just know, and I acknowledge. What.
Oh, Cheryl, I think your volume went off.
Oh, sorry about that. Yep, I hit something by mistake. Yeah, so I was saying that I notice and I acknowledge now, which is not something I used to do. But I was thinking the other day that something at work that we talk about a lot, and any of you who are in IT or work with IT, Emerson, you and your team, I'm sure you all know about vulnerabilities, right? That is talked about a lot in IT and cybersecurity, vulnerabilities. So you all probably are aware that, I don't know, was it last week or something? Somebody did something to gas lines, okay? And I went out, saw that there were cars like down the street waiting to get gas. Our gas stations were running out of gas, okay? So I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, what is going on? Apparently there was a ransomware attack, right? Or somebody, got a hold of data. I guess they encrypted it and said, we're not going to give it back until you pay us some money. And from what I read, they paid them. They paid them. So however they got in there and were able to get that information, they got through what we call a vulnerability, okay? And in this profession, a vulnerability is seen as a weakness, okay? It's seen as something that you don't want other people to find, okay? Because if they do, they're gonna do something terrible with it, okay? And harm you or someone else. Right? Now, I've been thinking about that, okay? Because of the work that I do in the training and all, and I'm like, is vulnerability really a weakness? Like, is that really what it is? All right. Because I no longer just take, people at their, I'm all for obeying authority and all that wonderful stuff, but I also know that I can question it, and I can choose to see things another way if I want to. All right. And again, something I did not know until I was something, okay? I thought I had to go along with what the tradition and the religion or the culture and all that said, because they must be right. Why would I question something that already had a name, right? So I've been thinking about vulnerability a lot, and I've come to see that, what? Maybe it's not a weakness, okay? And one of the examples that I use, and just interrupt me, if you want to ask something, okay? One of the examples that I use is, if you think of, like, wherever you're living, if you're in your own home or an apartment or a tent or, wherever you are, there's an opening for you to get in and out, okay? Possibly a door. Okay, let's just say that it's a door, right? Now, the door itself, right? The door with the knob on it and the key that you put in and all that. Typically, we would see that as a vulnerability, right? That the door it's a weak spot, you know, where if it's open, somebody can just walk in. And even if it's closed, you know, humans being who they are, we could just barge in there, all right? Oh, hi, Lane. Very nice to see you here. Let me read that whole thing. I can't see the whole thing. Who's not comfortable? Oh, can you explain about the space not getting old? That was simply stunning. Hi, Lorraine, Craig. Very nice. I'm so glad that you're here. And yes, what I'm talking about is exactly related to that. Okay. So it's actually not the door that's the vulnerability, right? It's the hole that's there before the door is open, okay? It is not a weakness, right? That open space is not a weakness. It's not a strength either. It's just what it is, okay? And it's a place where change can occur, right? Which is what a vulnerability is. It's a place that's susceptible or an effect of something that's susceptible to change, you know? Whether it's something physical, something digital, you know, like a logical codes or software or something like that, or you know, or a person, right? And typically we think, well, I don't know typical, but at least in the work I do, when we think of vulnerability, we see that as something that allows us to have empathy, you know, that really, you know, allows us you know, to see other perspectives. You know, if you have an open mind, right? That means you can think differently about something than you thought before. So depending on the conditions, right? You can see it as a weakness or a strength, but it's neither one, right? Now, Lorraine, when it comes to the space in the picture, right, that doesn't get old, okay? So let me tell this story to demonstrate that. I remember when I had to be like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old. I was small. And me and my mom, we went to the grocery store. We didn't have a car. So we walked to the grocery store. It wasn't that far, you know, we just had to cross the street. And it was Winn-Dixie. That was the name of the grocery store, Winn-Dixie. So I remember standing in line with my mom. And there was a lady in front of us who was checking out. Well, the lady, she dropped, I think it was like $2 or $3 on the ground. She didn't see that she dropped it, right? And then, but I saw that she dropped it. So she left, and my mom didn't see it either. Okay, you know, they were all occupied doing grown-up stuff. All right. So when we walked up to check out, I picked up the money. Okay? You know, thinking, oh man, you know, now I have some money that I can do something with. Well, when I left out of Winn-Dixie, I mean, I don't know what, because I was young, you know, I didn't know, I just felt something. It was like I was terrified. I mean, absolutely terrified. I was looking behind me the whole time, you know, and just it was horrible. You know, terrible. You know, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, you know, I just stole something and I'm going to get in trouble and, you know, and all that. So when I was thinking about that, I was thinking about how when it comes to this space, right, that just seems to be fresh and new all the time, you know, here all the time. But, you know, it's almost like time has nothing to do with it, okay? Because it doesn't seem to be impacted by what we feel time can impact, you know, things get old and, you know, time running on and all that. When it comes to that, what I think, you know, could have been happening is changing, right? So I did something that I had never done before, which impacted the integrity of Cheryl. Okay, meaning Cheryl had just, some kind of a change or something. You know what I mean? So I think what I was scared of, was that feeling of, change, happening, at that time. Not that it was good or bad, right? It was just that. And when I started to get really religious, you know, and saw that things were a certain way and that's it, and this is what I had to do to remain that way. I didn't have to make another choice anymore because I made that one. I said, okay, Cheryl is a Christian and she's a woman and she's that's it. I don't have to choose in those areas. It's set in stone. It's written with the finger of God. Okay, so it cannot change, right? So what I see now is that as the years went on, I did everything I could to not have to use that vulnerability, or not allow, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, not allow change to occur. Okay, I'm in a whole thing, if we just look around us, right, and where change can happen, you know but because I was so scared of it, and scared of the uncertainty, of what would happen on the other side if I did change my mind, or if I did choose something else, or that I just wanted to be one way. So anything that I felt, that made it seem like, well, Cheryl is not the same Cheryl she was before, that was just so frightening. It was horrible. And in the book, Lorraine, you probably read, I don't want to spoil it for you in case you haven't read it, but there's a part in there where I talk about, when I called my oldest sister and I told her that I can't go back to Christianity because it wasn't there anymore. Like whatever had been established, and there's a period at the end, like this is Cheryl and this is, that it wasn't there. It just wasn't there anymore, so there was nothing to go back to. So now all I had was uncertainty. All I had was vulnerability in front of me, and on the side of me. And, so now what am I going to do? The flag wasn't in the sand anymore. Now what am I going to do? And I'm still asking that question, but it's not asked anymore with so much fear. Because the fear behind questions was just unbelievable. There was just so much fear. So now I can ask the question. I can see that there is uncertainty, and the not knowing, and all that, and it's all right. It's absolutely all right now, which has been belief. I'm telling you. So, and it really had no choice but to, like, there's no way in the world I could just be here with you all on Wednesday talking about this, and then never mentioning it again until a month later, next Wednesday, that I come online. That is a good thing, Lorraine. That is a good thing. So, or maybe it's, I don't know if it's good or bad. It's just a thing. Okay, it's a thing, and and we just go with it, right? We just go with it. And when you question things, what I've come to find is, you really, at least let me just speak for myself. I'm not really doing it to find an answer, or to find, I ask questions that, we were talking the other day about some stuff, and I asked a question, and my boyfriend was looking like where did that even come from? Like, how would you even form that in your head to ask that kind of thing, And it's actually fun, it's actually a lot of fun to ask questions that you've never even, considered asking before. I know when I told him, I said, are we actually humans? Like, is that really what we are? And he's like, first of all, that's scary. To even, like, that's a really scary thing, and why would you ask a question like that? Just ask. Because when you're a good questioner, you question yourself totally out of the equation. You wouldn't even be here to see the answer with really, really great questions. And I actually have what do I have in this book? I happen to have it right here next to me. There is something there about, what is it called? It's called Time for Questions. Look at that. That's the one where I talk about the questions. Lorraine, I read this, but Time for Questions. And so looking at vulnerability as neither a weakness or a strength, what that is because what it was doing when we know for certain that, okay, vulnerability is a weakness. I can't be vulnerable. I cannot be vulnerable. I have to harden myself. I have to, stand my ground. All that. When we do that, not just personally, but what I'm talking about regarding, work, or your IT team, Emerson, and the security stuff that they do. What's happening is when we see it as a weakness, we see it as something that somebody else can take it and use against us, right? At least that's it, where I'm coming from. Instead of something that, I could actually see and say, okay, so what kind of functions do I have here, or something like that? We don't even ask that kind of thing, right? When we see something as inherently bad, Hey Ray, how are you doing? One of my favorite, and I am glad I'm catching it live. How did you get into this realization, and how did you do that? How did I get into this realization? Well, Ray, how did I get into this realization? Well, there were like steps, okay? The first step was me trying to be something, actually, let me back up one. The first step was believing that I wasn't enough. Whatever I wasn't enough as a woman, as a mom, as a kid, I wasn't enough. I didn't have enough. I couldn't see enough. I wasn't spiritual enough. I mean, it was right. Something was missing. And whatever was missing, I don't know when it went missing. I don't even know what was missing. I know there was a void somewhere. Something was missing. Okay, and I totally believe that. Right. So now my goal was to find it and get it, and not be incomplete. Okay, I wasn't whole. I'd been incomplete for a very long time, and searching and trying to do that using religion, using relationships, using goals and work and weight loss, and what else? Charity work. Reading magazines and books on how to be better and self-help and all that stuff. Okay. Doing all that, just trying to be better, to be more, to improve. Okay, so that's how it started. Then the next step was I just got tired. I was just exhausted, absolutely tired. Like in the military, they would make us do push-up until we reached muscle failure, which is like, you cannot, I don't care what happens, you cannot do another push-up. The body just won't let you do it, okay? So that's where I don't know, psychologically or something. I couldn't, there was nothing more I could do. Like I've been trying for so long, years and years and years, different things, talking to different people, praying, berating myself, just like, what else could I do except give them those people used to use way back when, and you know how they whip themselves in the back and all that. If I'd have had one of those, I'd have probably done that stuff. Okay, I was tired. I was just tired, Ray. So in that exhaustion, you know, I finally slowed down enough to be able to tell myself the truth, you know, without, I was terrified now. I was very scared, but I was so tired that there was nothing else. Like the lightest thing I had, the only thing I had, you know, was the truth, you know. And that's what I did, you know. I to myself in my room by myself how I really felt about God, how I really felt about religion, you know, that I wasn't going to do it anymore, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew what I wasn't going to do, and what I wasn't going to do is to keep lying to Cheryl and saying, yes, you are a Christian. You know, you do love the Lord. You have been chosen. You know, you're favored, and all of that. You know, I just sat down and I said, okay, Cheryl, you've been kidding yourself for how many years now? Okay, you don't believe any of that. You don't even love this guy. You know, this guy, you don't love him. You know, I mean, it was all that. Just telling the truth. That's it. And Karthik, hi Karthik, thank you. So I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Do you see everything as divine? I don't know. No, I see everything as it, I guess as it is. I mean, there's nothing special. I don't think, you know, about the way that I see everything. But in that moment, when I finally told myself the truth, I did feel something, you know. Nothing around me changed as far as, you know, what I could see, but I felt, you know, I felt lighter, you know, I really did. Like I've been carrying weights with me since birth, you know, and when you do that, you get used to it. So when I tell the truth, like the weights were just gone. You know, I was like, damn, I didn't even know like what the hell that was so heavy. I had no idea. You know, you'd think I had, you know, muscle strength or something with the weight of this stuff that I've been carrying, but that's the thing that I felt. And then again, like the questions, you know, the ability to question, you know, it came, it just, I mean, just, it was like a rush, right? Like a vulnerability, you know, it just washed over me, allowing me to give myself permission to question things, which is what I did and what I continue to do today, right? So it was those questions. And then there's something so divine about you. I feel a relaxation listening to you. And why is that? And I thank you for that, Cheryl. Oh, you're so nice, Karthik. So much for saying that. So after that is when else occurred that I still can't, you know, I try, but I don't know what the hell happened. Shoot. So I'd been looking stuff up, right? Going to Google and finding out, just asking questions about various things, mostly about Bible stories, okay, I'd grown up with, and just asking, you know, why does this story say this, but this other one says that? I just started to see a lot of contradictions and things, you know. You know, and then thinking, and at that time, I still believed in God, you know, I still believed that there was a God, one person, one entity up there who was judging me and all that, you know, and had spared my life just the other night when I told him to F off, you know, and all that stuff. I still believe that God was there until this one day when I saw that, I mean, every single thing that I had thought or heard or in anything was just not, it wasn't, it was wrong. And not wrong like right and wrong, but wrong like if you see, you know, like that picture of the people, all those people holding one part of the elephant, and this one person is saying, oh, this is a rope, and another person is holding a part of the elephant saying this is a whatever. From their perspectives and what they could only see, they were right. But as far as the whole picture, all of them were wrong, absolutely wrong. Okay, so it's that kind of wrong, you know. It's like but I was so happy about that. Oh man, you have no idea how excited it was to see that I was only holding the tail of it. You know, that what I was holding, what I was seeing was not the whole thing, you know, but I was living my life and making these promises to myself and, you know, talking to myself in the shower and, you know, reading the books and all this, believing that what I was seeing and experiencing and hearing and tasting and was all there was. You know, like what else could there be? Science would have found it already if there was something, you know, like that kind of thing. Lorraine, I'm resonating with this story so much. Thank you. I'm glad, Lorraine. I really am. And so to see, and when I thought I was wrong, it was nothing different. You know, it was just everything that I'm seeing right now. Like I was seeing that, but again, it was and I just knew. I knew that what I was experiencing in that moment, I didn't ask anybody. I didn't have to go to Google. I didn't have to call up the pastor. I didn't no witness was needed for me to see what I saw and to know what, you know, to know that I was wrong about everything. I didn't need some, another anybody to be able to validate what I experienced. Okay, so life without a witness, right? Every moment is like that. You know, I no longer require God in heaven to see, to know me, to hear me. None of that. I needed that before. Okay. I don't need it now. Now, when I saw that that was not the case, it was terrifying. There's a lot of terror in this story, okay? A lot. A lot of scary stuff. This is a horror story that I'm telling you all, okay? It's a horror story because I was scared to death. Can you imagine, right? I mean, scared to death, just terrified. Like, what? Nobody sees me. Oh my goodness. It was awful. But you just got to get over that. Get over it. You know, and I did. You know, it was. But I'm still seeing some things. I mean, I'm telling you, like 2 weeks ago, it was crazy. You know, it really was. You know, and it's funny too. At the same time, because it's really starting to feel like a game. It's really starting to feel like a game of hide and seek that I'm playing with myself. Like seriously, some of the stuff that I, like walking in the Walmart parking lot the other day. I love these little dill pickles, right? And in Walmart, like Walmart is the only store that I've seen. They have these little cups of dill pickles, and I go in there to get some when I run out because I love pickles, you know. So I went in Walmart to get my pickles, you know, and I'm coming out and I see that I'm not even here, right? Not only am I not here, but I'm not here, you know? And man, that was like white hot terror. You know, in a minute. I mean, it didn't even last, you know, very long, but I'm telling you. What? So like, well, who's enjoying pickles if I'm not in here, you know? But it was awful, you know, but it dissipated. But I've gotten, you know, I've started to get used to it, even though it's still scary. It's still frightening. Hi, Tom. Hi, Tom. So glad you. Hi, Tesh. Hi, Tesh. Hi, Tesh. Hi, Eugene. So glad to see you all here. So yeah, so just like that, right? Just going to Walmart and just doing everyday stuff, just everyday stuff. You know, at work, I know I'm getting on all kinds of people's nerves at work, all kinds. Oh, hi! I see somebody on the screen. Hello. Who is that?
You can unmute yourself, Hitesh. Yeah, Hitesh, go ahead and unmute yourself.
So, hi.
Hi. Uh-oh. Okay. Hi.
Okay. So, I wanted to ask you that
I'm sorry, Hitesh. I can't hear you.
actually I don't know how to put the question. I'm not getting that properly.
Mhm.
So, you mean to say there is something which is happened, some movement, something which is going to happen, because what
Well,
you are what you are proposing here, that is kind of different from non-duality speakers, because other non-duality speakers said there's nothing happening, no happening, and you are saying something happened with you and then everything will start changing.
okay, so what I'm saying is I'm sharing with you how I'm experiencing things, okay? So I would what I'm doing. Okay, that's what I'm doing here. So with me, something is different, you know, than the way it was before. And whatever that something is, I'm able to give myself permission to choose, give myself permission to choose, even if, you know, I've already been told what the correct answer or you know, or whatever is, you know. I know now that I don't have to go with that. You know? And yeah, so that's how it's been for me. Okay.
You just put that you are playing hide and seek with yourself.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
You're saying that you are playing hide and seek with yourself. I feel I am doing the same.
Hmm.
So how do you stop this game, this hide and seek game?
How do I stop it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't even know if that's what's going on. I mean, I don't know. That's what it seems to be to me, but I really don't know, you know. And I think that's where, with all of this, I go, because I'm still only holding part of the elephant, you know. Even if I feel like, okay, now I see wrong about everything, I'm still wrong about everything. Like even this stuff I'm saying now, I'm still not seeing. Oh, I'm just wrong about everything. Even what I'm saying now, this language, this thing that we call language, you know, it's the same thing that the donkey are doing out there, and the birds or whatever. You know, does that allow them? You know, is there tweeting and how donkeys, they're braying to each other? Like, are they what? Like, what is that? That's just, you know, that's, you know, sounds coming out of here that mean nothing. You know, they really don't. You know, so I don't know. You know, I go back to I don't know, and the difference is that does not um, frighten me so much that I can't, that I'm just frozen. But like I refuse to do anything because you know we are, how human beings are, right? We have that uncanny valley where we don't like the unknown. We need an answer. We need to know, okay, this is what this is. You know what I mean? So I can still do that. Like I say, yeah, this is what this is. I'm on the planet Earth and I'm a human being and I have children and all that. You know, I can say that and I can live as if, you know, I can be very sincere in living and all those things. But at the same time, I know it's not true. It's not the absolute. And that's what I'm okay with. Okay, I don't have to be right anymore. All right. And that's basically what it is. I don't have to be right. And that's fine. Okay, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Thanks for the question.
Because
Hi, Alex. I'm sorry. You had something else?
yeah, I'm also still not looking the whole elephant. Maybe I have his
Mhm.
tail or his leg, but I'm waiting for that moment, or I'm waiting for that elephant appearing in me, or I
See,
don't
but
know.
that's the thing, right? It's not an elephant because that's not even the whole picture. Okay. It's not an elephant. Uh, I don't know what it is. But I'm just using that as an analogy, right? I just don't know. Um, I'm gonna go ahead. Thank you, Hitesh. I'm gonna see what. So Alex Trusk, you said, do fear and desperation occur during awakening? I feel disoriented. Um, so so something I experienced in the very beginning was there was a whole lot of loss. Okay, I really felt like I was just losing. Things were just being sloughed off, you know, like a really good exfoliation. But worst, the worst of its kind, you know, I was just consistently losing, just losing things. That the first major thing that I lost was eternal life. I mean, the devastation. I lost it, you know, because there are certain conditions that have to be there for you to live eternally. You know, they're prerequisites. Okay, I had to be a sinner. I had to be a human. I had to be on earth. I had to be able to read. I mean, you know, there had to be a Bible. I had to be living. I had to be, there are so many things I had to be in order for me to get to eternal life. You know, when I lost eternal life first, and then all the stuff that was required for it just came tumble. It was like domino. They just came and they were just gone. Okay, so it was like the root thing was just gone. So all the other stuff had no reason. Like, what's all that other stuff for? Like, there's no reason for it to be there. Okay. Um, and it wasn't just eternal life. There were other things that just were gone. You know, the idea of Christianity was just not there. So it led up to that. I mean, so yes, there was a lot of fear and depression and disorientation. Um, you know, and it was like, okay, so what do I do now? You know, which was funny because that was one of the questions. I didn't even form it. It was just, it was what it was, the question came, it was like a feeling of there was absolutely nothing to do. I believe I have a chapter in Firing God called Nothing to Do, or it's in this book. There was nothing to do. Like what? There was like, when I say nothing to do, y'all, I mean down to the minuscule. Okay. When you see how you're blinking right now. Like, what are you doing that for? There's no reason for that. Like, why? Like, it's like, why are you doing that? You see how my hair tries to grow, growing my hair, like for what? What, Cheryl? Like, what do you do? Why? There was nothing to do. So the natural question was, okay, so what do I do now? Nothing. There's nothing to do. It was just, um, seeing that as, so while I was seeing that I was wrong about everything, and seeing that too at the same time, and there was nothing to do, it was like, oh man. I was like, really? So what? I don't know. Like, even being here is something, but there's like nothing to do, man. So I had to make up stuff again. I had to make it up. I was like, okay, if I do this, what if I become enlightened? And then I, get with this guy named Emerson, and he gives me a show. Or, I mean, I had to build a story all over again. I had to build another one. Okay. But that's okay. Because the first one, for some reason, the first one, I did not realize it was just that, So I had to, wake myself up out of this thing. It's almost like if we were in, how on Game of Thrones, and I watched it again, okay, even though I could not stand the last few episodes. I did not like that Daenerys Targaryen went crazy and, killed all those people with those dragons. Anyway, you know how at the end of each episode, the directors, I guess they were the directors, the guys who, directed they would get together and they would talk about the characters as if they were real. They'll be like, oh yeah, she's going through this, and you notice how she feels about this. First of all, I love that, okay, because it really pulls you into the story. And we're already good at suspending our critical thinking to help us believe stuff that isn't true, right? We're experts at that. That's what we do. Okay, it's like a function of a human being, right? Is to, just believe stuff, right? So when they did that, that just made it even more real. Even though we know they ain't got no dragons flying around, over 7 kingdoms. At least I don't think so. Okay. But them talking about it as were true. Okay. Would you just solidify, when you watch the movie, when you a good movie, when you watch a really good movie, you don't know that it's not real, That's why many of us, we don't like actors who can't act. We don't want to know that you're acting. Okay. You don't want to know that. You're going to ruin it. All right. Take some damn lessons. We don't want to know you're acting, Enjoy in my, hi, thank you for sharing. How do you experience perceptions affect your relationships? Oh, like motherhood. Oh, that's a good question. I love talking about that. Yeah, but I'll get to that in 1 second. So what I was saying about Game of Thrones, right, is that yeah, it's like that, on a day basis, right? Like here, I'm talking to y'all, like I know who and what you are. We have this language that we understand and all that. I'm not gonna ruin it. Okay, I'm gonna ruin it for you. So a mother, right? So this is one of the major areas for me where, because at least the way I grew up, being here in the United States and our culture and all that stuff, it's not just being a mother. I mean, having a baby, it doesn't make you a mother. Okay. At least from the way that I've grown up and all that. And you can't just be a mother. You got to be a good one. You got to be a good mom. You got to be a good dad, right? You can't just contribute to the population. You got to do a little more than that. Okay, so being a mother has so many, and I'm sorry, being a good mother has a lot of, oh man, the criteria. Okay. And then you have the whole command and control aspect, right? So that your progeny, are a reflection of you because of the command and control, right? You're raising them, you're telling them what to do, you're taking them to church. I mean, you're doing all these stuff so that what they do is a reflection on you as a mom, or on me as a mom. I'm not so on me as a mom. So I had to get over that. Like, I really did. I had to get over that, and a lot of the fear of judgment of other people. Okay, well, if not even looking at me, but just looking at my children. Okay, if your children are doing and saying or being this, then that means you are this. Okay, so, and people, they're going to do that stuff anyway. But I actually had to have a talk with my kids, and I did, and I still do. My two oldest aren't here in the house anymore. They're out. They're in their 20s. They're out on their own. But I got my two boys here with me, and we talk about that all the time. That, and I warn my boys, hey, listen, I am not your boss. Okay, like I am. Yes, I am your mom, and I love you, and we're doing this together. I said I've never done this before, not with you. They have two siblings, but they're different. But with the two here, like, this is new to me. I said it's new to me, it's new to you, unless you've been somebody's son before, and you give me some pointers. But if you can't, we're both learning this together. Okay. So that's just the way it is. I don't know any more than you do. Okay. So let's work it out. We're gonna have to talk, we're gonna communicate, we gotta do this. I can't read your mind, you can't read mine, So being able to, tell myself the truth about these various things, and see that I'm not right. Like, Cheryl, you're not, you don't have a whole picture on anything. There's nothing to do here. All of that stuff, it really just, allows me to communicate more, to manage expectations, to, if I want to take offense to something, I can do that if I want to. I can take offense. Sure. I don't have to, though. I don't have to. I can get angry and I can do all that stuff if, but there's no requirement. There's no goal. I'm already wherever, there's nothing to do. Okay. Just going back to, there's nothing to do, so what are you going to do? Okay. Whatever feels right, whatever, I'll ask whatever question I feel like I want to ask. It's just, living without a witness is at least for me, I feel like in situations I can just be them, whoever that is or whatever that is. Okay. And if it's nothing, so be it. I mean, whatever. No skin off my back because there's nothing to do. Okay. All right. Karthik, so much in divinity, even in life stories. How beautiful. Well, I that's something. So when I was looking for kind of like what I'm sorry, what was her name in the beginning? Lorraine. What Lorraine was saying. I was looking for somebody, for a single Black woman with, well, I wasn't single at the time. I was getting divorced. And praying and wishing for the day that it was final. Okay. But like, I was looking for somebody like me, because I did, yeah. I mean, I would love to just, talk, just, like, I had bills, I had problems, I had issues. Okay. I didn't have, it's time to sit quietly and ruminate on mountains or whatever. I had things to do. I I had things to do. I was living in my sister's basement. I mean, my divorce was going, I hated this man. He was getting on my damn, and then this, and now this. Okay. I got all this stuff happening in my house. I'm, my relationship is terrible. I don't even know how my health is. I haven't been to the doctor since, whenever my kids, I'm sure they hate me, for putting them in a situation with this person. And I mean, I don't have time for spiritual stuff. Okay. It was like, I just don't. It was like, can we do this in 6 months? Let me get my life together first, please. Okay. Then we can do all this spiritual universe, whatever the hell is going on here. Okay. But I had to, like, there was nowhere to go. Okay. I couldn't go, like I said, back to Christian, like there was nothing there. There's nothing there. So it wasn't like, okay, let me work on my spiritual life after work. And then my real life. No, 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 no. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. No, ma'am. No, it did not work like that. Mm-mm. So, when there's nothing to do, there's just nothing to do. What you gonna do? Nothing. So I had to just roll with it. Just roll with it. Oh, and I was looking for me. I was looking for a Black woman, with a traumatized life to be like, girl, I know what you're talking about. Okay. I went through the same thing. So that's what I was looking for because, that's just what I was looking for. So I said, you know what? I can't be the only one. I can't be. So, and I'm grateful to, Non-Duality Press and Emerson and, everyone who's, helping to create a platform so that other, people like me and like Lorraine and all of you can, we can just chat, and see that, ain't nobody here but you. That's it. And there's nothing to do. So, what y'all want to talk about? Okay. What do y'all want to talk about? Okay, let me see. This is now my favorite hour of the month. Thank you. Thank you, Lorraine. I'm so glad you're here. This is if I have a direct message. I don't know. Where is it? Oh, I think I got it already. Did I? Sorry, y'all. I work in cybersecurity. You think I know how to work these things. Ray, blown away by your honesty and vulnerability. There should be more of this content. Thank you a billion times, Ray. Thank you as well for being here. I really appreciate when y'all come in here. Now I need to start doing more on my channel because I have my Life Without a Witness channel. And like there's stuff that I just want to talk about, right? So, I need to be better about just turning on my camera and doing it and then uploading it, uploading it later. But things mesh, like there's like, stuff is just all intertwined. So then I'm like, oh, like is this cybersecurity or is this non-duality? Like which one do I go to? Is this my learning channel? Is this a parenting? All kind of together. So but what I need to do is just go make the damn video and upload it. Okay. If you don't like it, just shut it off. And be like it ain't got nothing to do with me. But that's what I'm gonna have to do. Instead of trying to parse out because I can't. There's no such thing. Even though each of us as individuals we really sit down, we have like a good 30 roles, that we play, 30 roles where we have another person or entity on the other side, like how I'm a mom in relationship to my kids, and I'm a daughter in relationship to my mom and a sister in relationship, you know what I mean? So we have like a good 30 of those, all of us, and which is a lot of stuff, and can you imagine like each one of those sees a different Cheryl, experiences a different person, which is that's amazing. Lorraine said, did you find God because he was not there in the first place? Is that what happened? I had my doubts. You're confirming it. What a relief. So Lorraine, what I saw is that what I fired was my belief system. Like I had a whole, I mean, brick of beliefs about who I was not and what I was not and how unworthy I was and all that, which I got from authorities who actually, love me and only want the best for me. Okay. But I didn't get message like naturally. Like nothing told me when I was little that I was unworthy or that I was Black or that I was a girl. I mean, nothing told me that. There was nothing and even now, nothing says that. Like nothing says any of that. Whatever those labels are, there's nothing here that says that. Okay, that indicates that at all. When you really just look, right? But because there was nothing there, and this is in the chapter, making what's missing. There was nothing missing. I had to make that stuff, okay, which is what I did. I had to make it and then say, okay, I have that. I had to make it and say, okay, that's where I'm deficient. That's a lot of work. So that's what I fired. I fired all that, all of those things that were related to me being unworthy and needing to get to heaven and not being good enough and, and all those stories. I mean, it was an entertaining story. It was very entertaining, but, I didn't like it anymore. I want to tell a different one. So I am. I'm telling a different story. Okay, we got like 3 minutes left. Does anybody have any other questions you want to slide in there before we go back to work? I'm working on a reference page on my jobs website. And I actually like that kind of work. Like I wrote a policy yesterday. I love writing. Okay, I really do. Even writing policies, which sounds boring as I don't know what, but they're not. Like I really do. I just like writing, and my policies are poetic. I should read some of my policies. You can probably page out and mail it to your girlfriend or something, very poetic. There. Okay, I got 12:58. Well, thank you all so much for being here. I really, 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 really appreciate every single one of you. And,
there's a last message from Lorraine there.
Okay. Oh, Lorraine, I am not crying. Oh, Lorraine, I have been afraid of my beliefs and you're speaking my words through your mouth. I will have the courage to show my face and talk to you on video. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Lorraine. Thank you so much. Yes, again, all of you. I really do appreciate you. And y'all have a great rest of the month until we see each other again. Okay.
Thank you so much, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. And we'll see you next month. Thank you so much, everyone. If you want to go to Cheryl's website is lifewithoutawitness.com.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry.
That's my YouTube channel.
YouTube channel. Okay.
Witness. Yes.
And if you want to go purchase her books, you can go to Amazon.com. She has books there. She also has a Patreon page. So if you want to, people from the Facebook that message me, just message me and I'll give you Cheryl's contact. Thank you, Cheryl.
All right. Thank you. Bye, y'all.
Bye.